Hi, I'm Dave Kilner, and I'd like to bring the memory of the Blades' best season for years back to you. Sheffield United started the season full of promise, after finishing a respectable 13th in their first season in Division 1 for 16 years, and reaching the 6th round of the FA Cup. In the close season, Dave Bassett signed Tom Cowan from Rangers, Clive Mendonca from Rotherham, Nathan Peel from Preston, while transferring Mark Morris to Bournemouth. I asked Dave what was behind those decisions.
And I felt that we needed some strength in one or two departments, particularly sort of a little bit more firepower up front, and in that time I'd noticed a young Nathan Peel playing for Preston and felt that he could come in and develop in the reserves. I didn't expect him to make first team impression, but I felt that we needed a centre forward of a bigger type in the reserves. So Nathan was brought. Clive Mendonca was out of contract at Rotherham. I'd seen Clive over the last season and a half, and I felt he'd improved and that he would give us extra strike force up front. So we brought him from Rotherham. And I'd been watching a young fullback, Tommy Cowan, at Glasgow Rangers for some time. In actual fact, I'd tried to buy Tommy when he was at Clydebank, and we didn't offer enough money, and he went to Glasgow Rangers. He was available, and I brought him in. One of the reasons for this was also that Dave Barnes was in dispute on his contract, and I felt that we were a little bit vulnerable at left back. And although Dave was out of contract, I felt that Tommy could come into the first team and do a good job. Well, I certainly felt that the squad was better, was improved, we were stronger, more organised, and I was optimistic that this team was better than the previous year. We'd had a better pre-season, everything was better for the new campaign.
The season's first game was away to Norwich, and the Blades were without Brian Marwood, John Gannon, Mike Lake and Carl Bradshaw, all out through injury, and Glyn Hodges was still suspended. In front of a crowd of 16,380, United were well on top and looked sure to record their first win of the season, but for two late goals from Fleck, the final result being a 2-2 draw. United's goals from Deane and Hill.
And there it is, onto his right foot, and the opening goal of the season to Brian Deane. Whitehouse. Well, gun came and then stopped. It comes out to Hill to drive, and that's number 2 for Sheffield United, Colin Hill. Beautifully hit. He's free down the right. Fleck's at the far post. It comes to him now, and a brilliant finish from Robert Fleck. Hill away. Falls though to Fleck. Oh, what a finish!
Yeah, I've kept up a tradition of scoring in the first game of the season, and I scored after 4 minutes. Well pleased. It was quite a sweeping move, and I remember the ball coming to Jamie Hoyland, and I told him to over it, and he dummied it, and I shot first time back across Brian Gunn. And went in. It was just a perfect start, really.
The Blades' first home game of the season was against newly promoted West Ham, managed by Billy Bonds. It was a scrappy, hard-fought game where a crowd of 21,463 saw Brian Deane leave the game at half-time through injury and saw West Ham's Small score the first goal 2 minutes after the break, Paul Beasley scoring for United 2 minutes later to leave the final score 1-1.
Yes! Oh, and what a work goal it was! That was superb! A short one to Bryson. A tap back for Hodges, a cross from Hodges, and in the back of the net from Paul Beasley.
Manager Dave Bassett made several changes to a side with Deane still injured for the third game against Southampton. A poor show for United saw us lose 2-0, even though Alan Shearer's 44th minute goal looked a little dubious, but a 78th minute Letitia goal saw the Saints pick up 3 points. Brian Deane was still absent from the fourth game of the season against Coventry. Another poor game for United saw us lose 3-1. Coventry's goals coming from an 8th minute penalty by Smith and goals from Furlong in the 28th and Rosario at 35 minutes. It was Ian Bryson's 14th minute goal that saved us from a whitewash.
So here United down the left. Knocked in there to Bryson. And a consolation for Sheffield United from Ian Bryson. Good header back, and with not much space, a good goal.
This game saw the last appearance of Finney Jones in a United shirt. as he signed for Chelsea for £575,000, a disappointing last game for him that saw only 2 points from 4 games. Selhurst Park was the venue for United's 5th game, and again with a surprise lineup, Charlie Hartfield, a free transfer from Arsenal, and Adrian Littlejohn both making their full debuts. Glyn Hodges opened the score against his old club, and United looked good enough to win.
It's there! Glyn Hodges has scored! He'll be delighted he scores against his ex-club. And after 8 minutes of the second half, Sheffield United take the lead. The goal scorer, Glyn Hodges, superbly curled over the head of Nigel Martin.
But an 80th minute goal from Jeff Thomas and an Ian Wright goal 1 minute from time saw defeat materialise in the closing moments of the game.
Against Crystal Palace, Hodge was returned against his old club and he scored a wonderful goal. It was great skill and he put it round Martin. Unfortunately, it resulted in us losing 2-1, but it gave us the lead.
No, that was my first goal. I mean, it was the first time back at Selhurst Park, having been transferred away from there. And I mean, I just wanted to give a good account of myself. My family was there, being from London, I had a lot of tickets and stuff. And that was one of them games we got beat 2-1, unfortunately. But I mean, the goal always stick in my mind. I think I just got knocked down on the edge of their box from a long throw or something, and I just saw Nigel Martin and just thought, I'll have a go, you know, it's one of them hit or miss things, and luckily it ran straight in the top corner, and you know, we went on to lose the game, but I mean, that was quite satisfying.
Chelsea were midweek visitors to the Lane, and with Vinny wearing the unfamiliar blue strip, a hard game followed. Chelsea's keeper played a blinder and kept the Blades off the score sheet, Paul Wood being carried off injured. A wise goal in the 56th minute robbed United of any points, leaving a disappointed crowd of over 20,000 people. Dave signed Brian Gale from Ipswich for £700,000. It was hoped he'd play at Oldham, but a mix-up with the financial arrangements prevented that.
As our early season form hadn't gone as we'd hoped and we were losing games, I felt that we needed strengthening at centre-half, and that was an important factor to us. And I felt that we needed a strong, dominant type of player. And the reason I then decided to move for Brian Gale was that he was a player I'd tried to get in the summer, but Ipswich wouldn't sell. I'd kept track of him and decided that I felt that it was necessary for us to up our figure on the transfer market, and we made overtures to Ipswich and we agreed a £700,000 fee, which they were prepared to accept in this instance.
At Oldham, a 13th minute Snowding goal and one from Marshall in the 46th minute saw United 2 goals down, and the sending off of Beasley and Harfield just before half-time marred a good first half. But the Blades battled well and pulled a goal back in the second half from Deane. But after 7 games, United still had not recorded a win. Brian Gale was still not available for the home game against Everton, but nevertheless United recorded their first win of the season. After going a goal down to a Peter Beardsley shot, Jamie Hoyland and Ian Bryson were the goal scorers for United.
To Garner. Keown's with him. Garner, a ball in there. Booker at the far post, and Hoyland at close range has scored for Sheffield United. Booker causing all manner of problems, and Hoyland couldn't miss. Booker finds himself on the wing. Mr. Versatility. United still go down this right-hand side. The cross in there, headed away. Knocked straight back in though, and there's goal number 2 for United. Watson's header not convincing, and beautifully struck by Bryson.
During the match, rumours were spread that Brian Deane, who'd not played, had been transferred to Leeds United, and that manager Dave Bassett had resigned in protest. Of course, these rumours were untrue, but Dave came out after the match and assured a crowd gathered outside of the facts. One of the First Division's new teams, Notts County, were the next visitors to Bramwell Lane. Brian Gale at last makes his debut, and Brian Deane still out of the squad through injury.
Right, Lee. Hodges. Garner, yes! And what a superb ball from Glyn Hodges. And Cherry going one way, And Garner puts in the other.
After going a goal up through Tony Garner in the 68th minute, a poor Blades performance saw them rocked by 3 goals from County in the last 20 minutes. Next, the disastrous trip to Highbury, and the worst result of the season, with Arsenal scoring 5 goals from Smith, a Dixon penalty, Groves, Rocastle and Campbell. United's revival coming far too late with the 54th minute goal from Tony Garner, and Clive Mendonca getting on the score sheet in the final minute.
Gale. Seaman come. Oh, he's missed it! And Mendonca has scored!
At the next home game against Wimbledon, a crowd of 16,000 saw the Blades draw 0-0 in a rather poor game. Brian Deane was ill for this game, and this illness was later to be diagnosed as glandular fever, an illness that was to keep Brian out of the United squad for some weeks.
I remember I played against Arsenal, and you know, I just couldn't get going, and you know, I thought I just was suffering from flu. You know, I couldn't get out of first gear. We played Wigan on the Wednesday, and by this time I knew there was something wrong with me. But you know, I played anyway, and I managed to score twice. And then I had to come off. I was feeling terrible, and the next day I saw the doctor, and he said that I had some bits of I don't know what it was on the back of me tonsils. I went for a swab, and while I was there I had a test for glandular fever, and it, you know, I'd had it for 6 weeks by all accounts.
Elland Road and a Yorkshire derby against Leeds United, the 12th league game of the season. United were outplayed by Leeds in the first half, and goals from Hodge and Sterling saw the Blades going in at half-time 3-0 down. But whatever David said at half-time did the trick. A great fight-back despite going 4-0 down, then goals from Hoyland, Agana and Bradshaw, leaving Leeds lucky to get the 3 points.
Beasley. Knocked away, Leeds United trying to clear the lines. That's to nobody, except perhaps Agana. Here he is, and beautifully finished by Tony Agana. He'll not get a better pass all season. Cannon. It's a poor kick away, and it's in for United from Bradshaw. Lukic in no man's land.
During the game, Phil Kite was penalised for carrying the ball out of his area, and Mel Sterling scored from the free kick. The video photograph published in the West Ham programme, however, would indicate otherwise.
And the second goal came from a linesman's decision, whereby he penalised Phil Kite for supposedly handling the ball out of the box when he was kicking the ball from his hands. Video evidence and pictures later showed that that wasn't the case, but the referee upheld his decision, and Leeds scored from the resultant free kick, which took a deflection, which meant we were 2-0 down.
After 12 games, United had only 6 points, which saw us sat well and truly at the bottom of the First Division. But last season, the game against Forest had proved to be a turning point, and hopes were high when the Blades entertained Forest that the same would happen again. A good, exciting game, and a splendid performance by the Blades, despite being without the skills of Tracy, Deane and Hodges. 4-2 was the final score, with goals from Whitehouse, Agana, Bryson and Hoyland.
He's there, yes! What a goal by Deane Whitehouse! And again, a suspect defending by the Forest defence. And Brian Clough will have 1 or 2 things to say at half-time through that. The scoreline now, Sheffield United 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Crossley, not a very good one. Oh, and he just went past the post from Bradshaw. Parker to Pearce. Looks for a 1-2. And Charles was half asleep. Bryson. Agana. Can he make it two? He does! Sheffield United have gone 2 out. Well, what a mistake again by the Forest defence. And Tony Agana put Sheffield United 2 up. Well, let's hope that United scored 2 goals, that they don't start to rest on the laurels now. Because Forest are very, very good on the break normally. It's Parker, and he's there! What a super goal by Gary Parker! So after 27 minutes now, Sheffield United 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Bryson, and they say, yes, what a goal! And that was young Carl Tyler making the mistake, and what a start to the second half for United. And it was superbly taken there by Ian Bryson. But whatever will Brian Clough think of young Carl Tyler? Parker. Neat footwork by Gaynor. Still Gaynor. And Warren puts it in, and that was a super goal by Forest. No messing around at all, but the goal was made originally by the footwork and the advantage rule of the referee. So it's 78 minutes gone in this match, and it's now Sheffield United 3, Forest 2. Dendoncker. Hoyland, and he's there! 4-2! What a goal! The cross from Michael Lake. The layoff by Bradshaw. And the goal by Hoyland. 4-2.
Main Road was the next venue for the Blades, and for Brian Gale, a return to his old club. A great game for both sides, but no points for an unlucky United, and for a competitive performance, Manchester City took the 3 points, with goals from Sheeran, Quinn and Hughes.
The cross in looks for Quinn, he's onside, it's there, the flag stays down. And Gale, the equaliser. Knocked in by Quinn, off the post, Hughes.
The final score was 3-2, but absolute delight for Brian Gale, having scored both of those goals.
Yeah, it's one of those games where we'd gone there and we'd been struggling to pick up points, needing a win. Started off quite well. Managed to get 2 goals. You know, that was obviously a great feeling, going back to my old club and putting a couple over them. But we didn't manage to get the result. So that was a disappointing aspect. But like I say, funny enough, I managed to do it down here as well, score against them. So I think might have had a little bit of an hoodoo on them. The 2 goals down at Main Road were carbon copies, really. Got John Gannon swinging in the left-hand side corner and managed to get on the end of both of them. They were both sort of similar, and it was one of those. It was ironic because we said before the game that they were struggling. Man City was struggling for height in their defence, and it paid off.
The Blades travelled to Manchester again, this time to Old Trafford, but after another good show, poor luck still left the Blades without points. Manchester United winning 2-0. Tony Agana, having served United well for many years, started a new career at Notts County in a £750,000 transfer. So at last, the long-awaited derby game. Things didn't look good for United with only 2 wins, 9 points and still bottom of the division. Whilst Wednesday were riding high in 4th place, 25 points, the Wednesday fans were confident, but this was not to go the way they expected. Brian Deane played his first game after injury, and before the match it was announced that Bob Booker was to rejoin Brentford on a free transfer. He bade an emotional farewell to the supporters. He was a great favourite. On the bench in this game was Kevin Gage, who joined United on loan from Aston Villa.
Warhurst. United win it back, and there's a foul. Bradshaw is not happy about that. He and Sheridan flare up. The referee has to come and sort it out, and Bradshaw restrained by Hoyland. Getting a little bit unnecessary down there in the Derby game. That's sorted out by Steve Lodge, our referee from Barnsley. So it's the free kick. Curled in, held by Woods. Worthington, oh, there's a kick there. That's nasty. Worthington, that's totally out of character for him. And the referee from Barnsley takes the name of Nigel Worthington. Free kick comes in. Woods comes, then he hesitates for just a moment. Claims it from Gale's header. King down the line. Headed towards Palmer. Palmer loses out, but Wednesday win it back. Sheridan. Anderson. Oh, it's threaded all the way through to Palmer. His shot off the underside. Sheffield United escape. The heads. Still not clear. There's Hurst offside. It's in the back of the net. It'll not count. It's offside. Palmer. Hurst. That's Wilson. Wilson down here. Looking for support. It's with Williams. Williams tries to take 2 of them on. That's curling in there and headed away by Tommy Cowan. Worthington. Held by Tracy. Good claim. Looking for Deane. Bit of a shove there. They can continue though. Wednesday done enough through Sheridan. That was calmly done back to Chris Woods. And Woods has missed it. It's hanging in the air, and how did that one get away? Off the head of Woods. Backing, looking for Bradshaw. Trying to tease the defence, and up goes Deane, but easy enough for Woods. Sheridan's free kick. Hurst heads it on there. Williams, it can't fall to him. Hoyland did a good job. Cowan. Lovely ball. Deane now into the Wednesday half of the field. Brian Deane bearing down on defence. Away by Sheridan. Comes back off Wilson. Still to Deane. His shot. Not a lot of power. Easy enough for Woods. Held in there. Cowan away. And then it's Gannon. Sheridan, Warhurst, oh, they've collided. Gannon looks up, and Bryson's in the clear. A one-on-one with Woods. Bryson, save, but Whitehouse is here. That's it, that's the opener. Sheffield United have scored, and Dane Whitehouse has got it. So delight for Sheffield United. They've scored in the derby. It was Gannon that set it up. A beautiful ball, onside. Wednesday looked for the flag. It wasn't forthcoming. Bryson might have scored. Good save, Woods. But he could do nothing about that. Warhurst, Worthington and King. That one's up towards Sheridan, and Here's Williams. Gale was first to react. But was there a little infringement there? Worthington. Palmer. One for Hurst. Could come to Williams. For Williams, he's in the clear now. Got a good chance. Squares it across. And only Danny Wilson will know how he missed. Tension here because Wednesday could strike at any time. And they could do again because here's Williams. Jemson couldn't get there. King away. Comes to Hoyland. Headed one there and knocked over by the watching Woods. Whitehouse's little header. And comes the corner. Comes to Deane. He's still got it. It's through Woods' legs. It's there. And that should do it for Sheffield United at 2-0. Deane celebrates. It fell nicely for him, and when it did, he didn't need a second chance. And a packed Bramall Lane salute him. But I'm sure you'll see here, right through the England keeper's legs. And a better shot of it here. Chris Woods, as time ticks away. Helped on towards Palmer. Bit of a stretch there for Simon Tracy. He's had a sound afternoon's work. Knocked in towards Deane. It's a free kick, I think, given by the referee. No, play continues. It looked just for a moment as though he was going to give it. He looked very hard at the incident as the ball's rolled across the face there. Woods complains he's still injured as Warhurst gets the ball clear. Looking forward, Deane again, headed away by Warhurst, driven back in there, and King gets his body in the way from Dane Whitehouse. That was a powerhouse shot. Williams. And Bradshaw does what he has to do, and that's to get it away from the danger area for a corner kick. Sheridan looking to take it. Wednesday. Curl that one in. Comes to Hurst. Gannon gets it away. Knocked in by Nielsen. Nielsen looking here for Anderson. Again, Sheffield United have legs in the way. Whitehouse, who's had an exemplary game, gets it clear. Parks. Williams, been lively all day. Nielsen, crossed in towards Hurst. Put in by Jemson, but he got no purchase on the shot. And Johnny Reed and David Hurst get themselves tangled up, but Wednesday get the throw. Anderson. Inside towards Sheridan. Here's Hurst, chance for him, and smothered well by the United keeper. Could still be with Hurst, but the referee's blown a whistle. The referee is there to separate the sides. There's a bit of a flare up there. King. Here's Jemson. Inside to Sheridan. He looks up. And that's a good shot. That was a good save too. That's almost out of nothing. Paul Williams. Here's Deane. And he finishes off once and for all. Brian Deane on the right-hand side for Sheffield United. With the cross in there. Aimed towards Bryson, but wide. Well, what a full-blooded derby match this has been. And Sheffield United, is this the start of the revival they're looking for? Bryson, knocked away. Wednesday, what have they got left? Not a lot, because it's all over, and Steve Lodge blows time on the first division derby. For a long, long time, it's the Blades that take the points and the glory, winning here by 2-0. The two scorers, you saw Dane Whitehouse there. There's the other, Brian Deane with the second. A day for him to remember. And the fans of Sheffield United to celebrate.
Yes, what a great day to be a Unitedite. And what a great day to be a United player.
Well, the atmosphere was unbelievable. The fans got behind us. I mean, it was just nice to play in the game. And as far as the goals were concerned, there must have been a mix-up in middle of the park between John Sheridan and Paul Warhurst, and it broke free to Jock. It was run through, a nice shot, keeper saved it, and I've had an open goal. So, as I've been there, I've just stuck it in. Oh, over the moon. I mean, especially scoring at this end in front of our fans, I mean, it was unbelievable. Not a special goal, but as I said, the all counting end.
I enjoyed the game. It was a good derby to play in, very fast, furious, and for me the goal, it just came out of nothing. It was a quick corner, dropped at my feet. I managed to sidestep John Sheridan, I think, and as I shot, I think Chris Woods was going the other way, and it went between his legs. It was just perfect end to the day for me.
The Blades travel to White Hart Lane, still high from their win against Wednesday, with Kevin Gage making his full debut. A good performance and the first away win of the season. It was thought Brian Deane got a touch on the goal, but it was later credited to Kevin Gage. The next home game against Luton was a game the Blades needed to win, as both teams were now involved in a relegation battle. After a lively start, United faded away and looked sunk when Luton scored. But Ian Bryson's 88th minute goal saved the day and won United 1 point. This week in the season saw Chris Wilder join Charlton on loan, and United played another game where the points really mattered, away to QPR, at a ground where United had won last season. But a goal from Roy Wegerle robbed United of a point, and Dave Bassett was reported to have had a go at the team. Aston Villa were the next visitors to Bramall Lane, and Villa gave their permission for Kevin Gage to play, even though he was on loan from them. A good solid game from United, and goals from two young players born in the city, Mitch Ward and Dane Whitehouse.
Gannon's free kick. It's an awkward one, headed away. Comes to Whitehouse, a deflection off McGrath, and there's the second goal for Sheffield United. Lovely strike.
The Blades then travelled to West Ham to play another game with the team sharing the bottom of the table. Some controversial decisions from the referee in this game saw Brian Gale sent off for swearing.
Hodges. Here's Little John. And Deane, yes, there it is! For Sheffield United, Brian Deane, near post, lovely finish. Little John with the cross, and Deane with the finish.
Brian Deane, however, looked to have gained 3 points for the Blades in the 83rd minute, until the referee gave a penalty for handball against Tom Cowan, who clearly headed the ball. The Boxing Day encounter against Coventry at the Lane promised much after United's recent improvement, and the first half looked promising, with United missing several chances. But after the break, Coventry came back with a vengeance, scoring 3 within 10 minutes. A good start against Crystal Palace, and an early goal from Jamie Hoyland made United look to be the winning side.
So Deane then down the right-hand side. Hoyland's broken off. He's free here and flies at it. What a goal! Jamie Hoyland.
After the interval, Steve Coppell moved McGoldrick forward and he tormented the United defence, and Palace eventually equalised through Gabby Deane. On New Year's Day, the Blades had a rather daunting trip to Anfield and were 1-0 up at half-time through a Brian Deane goal.
So Mulvey, he's put it into the path of Deane, and Deane has scored at Anfield to open the scoring. Lovely finish.
But Liverpool were to fall back in the second half through Houghton and Saunders seeing Liverpool pick up the points. It could have been worse, but for an excellent game for Simon Tracy.
We played Liverpool and Ray Houghton's coming to the far post, and he's hit it on the volley, and Tracy's going the other way, and he's turned in mid-air and flicked it around the post. At the end of the day, I couldn't believe he'd actually got his hand to it, but that sums him up. He's always likely to do the unexpected.
It was a big game for us. We were still in the relegation trouble. I was called into action very early there, and we went 1-0 up. And to be fair, the save what was stand for me was the one from Ray Houghton when the ball came across and he hit it on the volley, and I was going the wrong way, but managed to get a touch to it and it go around the post. It was an enjoyable game, and probably one of the best games I've enjoyed in actual playing, apart from the Wednesday games, but I enjoyed it very much. Well, I felt that our morale this year at the Christmas stage wasn't as good as it had been the previous year, to be quite honest. Although the morale was good, it wasn't still as strong as it was the previous year. And there were certain things that we had to do to get that back, and I think we succeeded in achieving that objective. And the players went into just before the Christmas period, they'd had a reasonable run. We were rather dubiously fiddled out of 2 points at West Ham, where clearly the video shows again that Tommy Cowens has headed the ball clear in the last minute, and the referee decided to give a penalty. So instead of coming away from West Ham with 3 points, we only came away with 1 point, which put us under pressure for the next resulting 3 games. And we were hoping to pick up points, but we lost 3-0 at home to Coventry, which was a bit of a disaster in terms of points. We then found ourselves playing extremely well for 45 minutes against Crystal Palace, should have been more than 1 up, and then faded and allowed them to get back into the game. It ended up 1-1, and then we went to Anfield, where again we went 1 up, and possibly if the gods had been with us, we would have won that game or drawn it. But in fairness to Liverpool, they did deserve to win the game, so we came out of the Christmas period with 2 points where we were looking for 7. So obviously we put ourselves in a position where we had an uphill struggle.
A long journey to the Dell, and United looking to avenge the 2-0 defeat at Bramwell Lane. The final score was an amazing result for the Blades, winning 4-2. An outstanding goal by Mike Zico Lake, one of the 2 from him, the others from Mitch Ward and Brian Marwood.
Here's a chance for Letitia, and there's the opening goal from Matt Letitia. Whitehouse. He's in the clear now. Good save, Flowers. It comes out to Ward. Mitch Ward. Lovely side-footed goal. Nicely taken. Here's Whitehouse. Checks one way and then the other. Lake. Headed away, comes back to Lake. His shot. Oh, what a goal! What a screamer! Fantastic goal! Tissier takes it quickly. And he's there! Deane. Marwood and Deane are there, and Marwood has scored! Deane's shot, saved well by Flowers, and Marwood, it was inviting. Lovely ball from Gannon. Marwood, been lively since he came on. Set it up for Lake, another from him, deflected, and that's it, that'll claim the points. Unlucky Southampton, but it's 4 for United.
The new year had brought new confidence to the United squad, the home game against Norwich gaining another 3 points. The Norwich keeper suffering a back injury, and although Beckford did a good job in the green jersey, he could do nothing about the late winner from Ian Bryson.
Peace is in there. Gage, off the underside, Bryson, and Beckford can do nothing about that. A hint of inevitability about it. But a fine header.
Off to Forest for the next game, with memories of being well beaten in the same fixture last season. But what a scoreline. Sheffield United 5, Nottingham Forest 2. Superb goals from Mike Lake and John Gannon in particular.
Gannon. Forest get it away, but only as far as Kevin Gage. Bradshaw turns it in. Lake. Oh, he's done it again. Unbelievable. 1-0 Sheffield United. Another stunner from Michael Lake. Clough. That was one's looking there for Keane, and it's there from Nottingham Forest. Bradshaw's cross. Gannon. Oh, what a finish. First time and right-footed. Well, Kevin Gage might well look at his right foot, but there was nothing wrong with that one. Perfect. Bryson, it's fallen nicely for him. Still Bryson. It's hit a couple of legs on the way in, but it doesn't matter. It's there. He rode his luck, and the goalkeeper despairs. Tyler, the next Barnsley man. Looking here for Clough. Keane. Keane all the way. Wide. So Forest aren't finished yet. Black. Headed away by Gale. To Bradshaw. Bradshaw comes away with it. You know, United have far more appetite for this game than Forest. Bryson. Laws. It could sit up nicely. It does! Bradshaw, what a goal! He's had a very good game so far, and he's capped it with a good goal. A very good goal, in fact. Laws making a mess of the clearance. It sat up nicely and was finished beautifully. Bit of a push there. Play continues. Tracy, and the referee's given a penalty for that. John Martin, senior official on the Football League. No mistake, Stuart Pearce. It's into Hodges. And Deane! Yes! 5! And United have deserved it. They've been the better of the two sides by a long, long way. Gage finding Hodges, but his trickery really sprung the offside trap. And there's Deane.
I can remember it because it was my only one, so it came across from the left and it came out to me very quickly. And I've just hit it instinctively with my right foot and it just flew in, really. It was a very pleasing moment for me. John Gannon's right foot. I mean, I think that's the first time he's used it this season, and just goes to show if he uses it a bit more, he might get a couple of goals next season.
United were definitely on a roll when Manchester City were visitors to the Lane. They played a United side keen to avenge an unlucky defeat at Main Road. A really good game where United had a great first half and went into the break 3-1 up. City pulled back in the second half, but Dane Whitehouse scored the killer goal.
Some teasing going on down on the right wing. Knocked in there. Oh, yes, what a goal. And Lake has done it again. He can't score anything but spectacular, can he? That's so hard to do. Could fall here to Beasley and Deane. Oh, he threaded that one through. There were so many bodies in there. Deane found the only way through. So that's another on his tally for the season. This is McMahon. Oh, he's found Poynton, and Poynton collides with Whitehouse. It could be a penalty, and Alf Bukish says it is a penalty. I don't think there's much argument. Keith Curl. No mistake. Whitehouse and Deane have somehow contrived to get that one in. Came out was absolutely nothing, really. Somehow, it's bounced in off the knee. Poynton, he's taking it on the run. He sets it up here, and it's there. Lake and McMahon. Lake comes up with it. Now Hodges. Hodges to Deane. Yes! No. Ruled illegal by the referee. Gale. Played up towards Deane. Deane to Whitehouse. Whitehouse could score, he does! Lovely finish. Great finish. What a season he's having. Deane flicked it on, helped it on its merry little way, straight into the path of the man that wanted it, the man that's finding scoring easier to come by in the First Division, Deane Whitehouse.
Kevin Gage was signed officially for United, and Paul Rogers made his debut against Luton. The Blades were hoping for a result against fellow strugglers, but they hadn't done too well against the teams lower in the division. Simon Tracy made an unusual mistake for one goal.
It's hanging in the air. Sutton's made a meal of it. It's turned in. It's there for Sheffield United. That's the equaliser they're looking for.
2-1 the result in a game we should have won. United faced Queen's Park Rangers at Bramwell Lane, but QPR, using a solid defence against United, held out for a poor draw. Derby Day Part 2, and the Blades travel across the city to Hillsborough, where Wednesday seek revenge for their drubbing at the Lane. The support and atmosphere was fantastic, and the United lineup included Bobby Davison, on loan from Leeds, and Alan Cork, signed from Wimbledon, took his place on the bench.
It's a wet and gloomy day, but Sheffield has turned out at Hillsborough in force. Wednesday desperate for revenge, but here come United. Rogers helps it on, looking for Deane here. Deane's onside, kills it back, Whitehouse, and there's the opening goal. Nobody picked him up, and Sheffield United mean business, and they've hit the opener through Deane Whitehouse. He scored the first at Bramwell Lane. He scored the first at Hillsborough. Deane hooking it back superbly, and Whitehouse the easiest goal of the season. Rogers did his best to sort of help it on its way. Deane capitalised. And 1-0 the Blades. Tracy. Here's Bradshaw. Looking for Davison. It's come to Davison. And there's the second. but I'm sure that Woods was at error there. I think a moment's hesitation from the England keeper. And Davison capitalises on his debut, on loan from Leeds. And it's 2-0 to Sheffield United. A teasing ball in from Bradshaw. Now watch here. He comes, he stops, he hesitates. Davison, a rub of the ball, and a finish. This will give us a better indication, I feel. It's dropping into no man's land. One has to claim it. Wood stops. Off his shoulder, sits up nicely, and Davison finishes it off. Wednesday look to make amends with Carlton Palmer. Defended, free kick. The rain continues to come down. Rain for all the first half, it's continued into this second half. Free kick then to Wednesday. Laid out to King. He scored his first goal for the club. It took a deflection, but Phil King has scored, and Wednesday are back in it. No hurry, Kevin Gage. Gannon. It's a beauty. It's there! And Davison's got it again. Unbelievable debut. 2 for Bobby Davison, and 3 to Sheffield United. And Davison, the scorer. Gannon's ball worked in here absolutely brilliantly. Picked out his man, and that left Wednesday's defence stranded. Gannon delivered a super ball in the first derby match for the opening goal. He's delivered another super one here.
What a night for the Blades. Sheffield's soccer supremacy, and Dane Whitehouse had done it again.
I mean, I played twice against them and scored opening goals, and I said that we're only a tapping as well. I mean, it was nearly enough same as when I scored down here. The ball broke down, and Deane's just run down and cross it, and I've got in front of Roland Nielsen and put it in front of United fans again. Over at Moon, especially in front of the lads again.
Well, just before the transfer deadline, I decided that the team needed a little bit of input. I'd been trying to sign Alan Cork on a free transfer from Wimbledon, but they refused to allow him to come to us at the early stage, and I pursued that matter, and it was rather difficult for us because I felt that Alan's experience would have been invaluable to us. So before the Alan Cork transfer became a permanent move, I was able to get Bobby Davison from Leeds on loan before the deadline, and I felt that having Bobby and then taking Alan was good, valuable experience in terms that I'd got 2 goal scorers and 2 players who were vastly experienced, and they proved to be very, very valuable to us in the final months of the season.
After the euphoria of the derby win, United were full of confidence for the meeting with Manchester United at the Lane. The Blades were well on top in the first half, with a good goal from Brian Deane and a few chances missed. Early in the second half, Brian Deane, though, was carried off injured, and the Reds improve as McClare and Blackmore secure the points, although Alan Cork missed a good chance in the last minute. Back to Stamford Bridge, and hoping to do better against Chelsea than in the recent FA Cup defeat. A fairly comfortable 2-1 win for United, as both goals coming from Dane Whitehouse, and sweet revenge for the Cup KO.
Wise's corner. Allen's in there. And so too is Cundy. Cork helps it on to Whitehouse.
Another attractive fixture against Liverpool. Always dangerous, even though this had not been one of their better seasons. Due to an injury to Simon Tracy, and with Phil Kite still recovering from a hernia operation, United had signed Mel Rees, West Brom's reserve keeper, for £25,000, and it was straight into action at Bramhall Lane. A spectacular mistake by Bruce Grobbelaar and a superb chip from Brian Deane set United on the way to a good and deserved victory. and a brilliant debut by Mel Rees.
Deane. Whitehouse across the face. In trouble, Grobbelaar. Away by United only as far as Malby. And there's a good save. What a fine save from Mel Rees of Michael Thomas. Houghton for Liverpool. Quite dominant at the moment, Liverpool, as the ball's played in there, looking for Rush, and Rees is across there. It's fallen loose and knocked over by McManaman. Burrows. McManaman. Rush. Gale away. Gannon. Rogers. Up towards Cork. Liverpool win it back. Have it with Houghton. Knocked away by Kevin Gage to Cork. Cork helps it on. Onside now. Oh, Grobbelaar's come on walkabouts. He's dispossessed. This will be spectacular if it goes in. Oh, look at that. 45 yards from Brian Deane. What was Grobbelaar thinking about? He'd lost it here. But that is the best goal of the season. He'll not score too many like that in his career. Nicol, as far as Whitehouse. Whitehouse again trying to get around his man and just headed over the bar there by Bobby Davison. Houghton. Here come Liverpool again. It's with McManaman. He's dangerous from these positions. Houghton lets it roll. Malby, but that's high and handsome. Thomas. Bit of a meal made there of the ball as it comes to Rush. Across the face, and McManaman couldn't meet it. Onside. Gannon kept them on. Liverpool then, bearing down on Rees. Rush across the face. Comes to Malby. Malby tumbles. No penalty. And that one's falling, well, again, Grobbelaar making a bit of a mess of it. It could come here to Whitehouse, and Grobbelaar's made his second mistake, and United have capitalised. Whitehouse has scored. Perhaps with the first goal in mind, but it's been disallowed. Why has that been disallowed? Heaven only knows. Barnes. Deane, he's onside. Held back, keeps on going. Deane, he deserves to score. He was held by the Liverpool players. But he went on and did the business to score his second. Set up by David Barnes. There's the shirt tugging. Deane's a strong, powerful lad, and he does the business.
We played Liverpool at home, and of course, you know, I scored from about 40 yards with a lob. You know, that again, I mean, it shows the little bits of my game that sometimes don't always come to a fore, you know.
Yes, great skill this. Although Bruce Grobbelaar gets the blame for this, Brian showed great composure. Bruce came out, he picked the ball up a long distance, and he's chipped it with expert skill that was, you know, tremendous ability. Also, his second goal was of a similar calibre. It looked easy. Burrows was putting him under pressure, went to ground. Brian feinted to put the ball past Bruce to his left, took it to the right and slipped it in. Made the goal look easy.
A rearranged fixture against Aston Villa, a side enjoying a fairly good season under Ron Atkinson's management. But sad news on the same day. Brian Smith, who broke his leg playing for United at the Lane, had been told that after all the treatment, his leg would never be strong enough to cope with league football, and he'd have to retire from the game. United appeared to have gained the 3 points when Kevin Gage scored against his old club, but Cyril Regis made it even in the 89th minute, but still a creditable draw.
Does very well. Shot comes in. It's there. Kevin Gage gets his first goal for Sheffield United through sheer persistence. So with 2 minutes to go, it looks very much as if Villa old boy Kevin Gage has given his side 3 points, kept United's impressive run going, and after a brief glimpse of glory, it's also meant that Villa's miserable run has continued, but Regis has he's done it! Well, well, well.
Oldham managed by Joe Royle were the next visitors to Bramall Lane. They would appear to have their position in the new Premier League secure. A very entertaining match, won in the end by goals from Deane Whitehouse and Ian Bryson, who was brought on as substitute for Alan Cork.
Hodges, trickery from him. Oh yes, what a goal, Deane Whitehouse! Lovely finish. Hit that superbly with his left foot. Hodges had a go. Whitehouse showed him how it should be done. Rodgers, Deane. There are some United players ahead here of Hodges. Who will he pick out? Could be Gage. Could come to Bryson. Oh, yes, a sharp finish there from Ian Bryson. He salutes the Kop as United score their second. And Ian Bryson back on the score sheet. Hodges, lovely crossfield ball here. Picked out Kevin Gage. His first time ball caught Oldham napping, and though Rodgers couldn't get there, Bryson certainly could.
The Blades went to Everton full of confidence after a very good run of results in 1992. Mel Rees had not done a thing wrong, made some excellent saves, and looks like another Dave Bassett bargain buy.
Hodges. Across there. It's in! Oh, what a great header there from Bryson. It hung in the air for a long time, it seemed. But Bryson is back, and he's in a rich seam of scoring form. Good goal. Well created by Hodges. Rises there and loops it over the stranded Southall. Beasley. There's Mel Rees. So Gale takes it out of defence. Plays it all the way to Cork. Is this to be it? From Cork! It is, indeed. And he salutes the crowd. He enjoyed that one, make no mistake. That's wide. Straight between Southall's legs.
Well, because it was Alan's first goal for the club, obviously he was delighted. He got on the end of a clearance by Brian Gale and again showed composure, which he's done all over the years, and made the task look quite easily, putting it past Neville Southall.
Spurs, the next visitors to Bramall Lane, had not been having a good season by their standards, and the Blades had a good chance of doing the double on them. A strong United performance and 2 goals from Brian Deane.
The first time across the green. Deane eventually, after 2 super saves by Walker, but what a run by Kevin Gage. Slipped it through his man nicely. His first effort beaten down. Deane's effort beaten down. But Brian Deane putting Sheffield United in front. Barnes. Barnes. Deane. 2-0! Well, that was a superb move by United. And that came from a lovely ball from Rodgers. A good cross from Barnes. Deane makes it Sheffield United 2, Spurs 0. Oh, hits the post. Well, Hodges picked Bobby Davison out on that far side.
League champions Arsenal visited Sheffield for a showdown between the First Division's most successful teams so far in 1992. In fact, if the season had started on the 1st of January, then the Blades and Arsenal would have been in positions 1 and 2. A good first half for United, taking the lead with Davison.
And it's there, Sheffield United! Well, that was straight from Glyn Hodges, free kick, and Bobby Davison put Sheffield United 1 up.
He then hit the bar with a good effort.
Davison is the bar!
Hodges saw Seaman off his line and tried a long shot, which hit the bar and fell for Bobby Davison, who headed wide.
Hodges. Oh, and it hits the bar! Oh, and how did that one go over?
United could have been 2 or 3 up in the first half. In the second half, though, Arsenal, playing better, got an early equaliser.
Campbell, 1-1. Well, that was a simple goal by Arsenal.
After this game, United gained 7th position in the league. Easter Monday, and the Blades travelled to Notts County, a team desperate to win their last games to avoid relegation and claim a place in next season's Premier League. Bartlett's goal gave County an early lead and kept the Blades at bay almost up to the break until Paul Beasley put one in on 44 minutes. In the second half, the Blades took over with fine goals from Glyn Hodges and Bobby Davison, a very comfortable win for an on-form United side.
This is Deane, chance here for Deane. Oh, he turns his shot wide. But he is dangerous in front of goal. Nicely turned out by Williams. Shot coming in there, quite a weak one though. Bartlett's race back. Gannon slides it across. Oh, it's there! Touched in by Paul Beasley. It came from the free kick. It was quickly taken by Gannon. It sped across the penalty area, and suddenly Notts County's joy is turned to frustration. It's Notts County 1, Sheffield United 1. That's a good ball. Wilson didn't get to it, but he did enough to put Brian Gale off. Beasley in trouble. Wilson's there. This is Thomas. Thomas tries the shot. Hit it low. This is Deane. Space to run in. Give Davison. Spotted though by Johnson. Gannon losing out to a determined Kevin Wilson. Williams. Headed away by Beasley. And this is Rodgers. Good ball for Deane. Taken on by Hodges. Hodges tries the shot. Oh, what a goal from Hodges from 24 yards. Glyn Hodges, the former Crystal Palace player, slammed Sheffield United into the lead. There seemed no danger in it at first when the ball was played forward. Hodges ran on. He hit a cracking shot, which really Steve Cherry had no chance with at all. And suddenly it's Notts County 1, Sheffield United 2. One in the air by Deane though. This is Rodgers. He's got Davis on this side of the field. But, Gale trying to slot it into the left wing position. Hodges taking on Williams. Gets the cross in. Nods it behind for a corner. Back to Gannon.
Quick ball in, and there's the header, there's the goal! Bobby Davison. It was quick, it was sharp, and Davison was there on the end. He split the defenders in two and nodded in past Steve Cherry from almost 2 yards.
Any game between Leeds and Sheffield United is a big one. This time fate had it that the game would decide the title race. The Blades were looking for a good finish to the season and a little revenge for several recent defeats. A keenly contested game with United taking the lead through Alan Cork and looking solid in defence. Then an injury to Mel Rees was to cause the Blades big problems. A bizarre goal by Wallace saw Leeds level at half-time. A goal in the second half from ex-Wednesday player Newsom, Rees being unable to jump for the cross ball, put Leeds in front. Then 2 own goals, one each way, for Lee Chapman and Brian Gale, gave the points and the championship to a jubilant Leeds United.
Gannon's corner. Pemberton. It's still in there. Cork! It's there for Sheffield United. Alan Cork has scored. What an opening for the Blades. The Leeds United defence not convincing, and the Sheffield United team take advantage. Pemberton causing all manner of problems at the back there, and in the scramble, Cork pokes it home. You'll see Pemberton's role here. He's probably trying to score himself, overdid it a bit, but the problems were compounded for Leeds by Alan Cork. A little tumble from Lee Chapman, rather more of that than there was, but quickly taken. Wallace comes now off Wallace, and it's there, what a bizarre goal. Sheffield United failing to clear their lines. Gale thought he could do so. A ricochet off Wallace, he didn't know much about that. And the goalkeeper and defender are left injured. But that's the equaliser. It's come on the stroke of half-time. Deane. Good shot, it's over. Leeds are near to the championship, but Sheffield United pushing them all the way. Cork looking here for Deane now. Deane with a shot, just off Lukic's knees away. All the running by Sheffield United so far in this second half. Dorigo. Batty on the far side. Wants it to roll out of play. David Batty. Wallace. Free kick. So Leeds with the set piece move. McAllister takes it. Rees can't make it. And there is Carl Shutt to score for Leeds United. Rees just couldn't get there because of his injury. White is away for a corner. And Leeds defence still not convincing. Feel that Sheffield United could score. Gannon comes across to take it. It'll be one of his curling swingers. So there it is. Across there to Pemberton and in off the knee of Lee Chapman. The equaliser. It's 2-2 now. All square, and maybe Sheffield United can take it from here. Are Leeds to be denied at Bramall Lane? Got a clear sight of Chapman's knee, is it? Scoots off him, well we didn't because the referee was in the way, but you can take my word for it. Chapman was the last man to touch it before it went on. Pemberton's work though, and there's Chapman to divert it past Lukic. Deane to away by Gary Speed in a deep position. Here's Wallace. He's onside. Still under pressure from Cantona and Wallace, and the keeper's come, and he's there.
But even the most ardent Leeds fan would have to admit Leeds having the luck of the turf in this one. So the league title went to Yorkshire. Hopefully next time it will be to Sheffield, to Bramall Lane. And for United's last game of the season, a trip to Wimbledon, Dave Bassett's former club. The Blades' goalkeeping situation had worsened, with Mel Rees now also on the injured list. Mervyn Day from Leeds United stood between the posts for his one and only appearance in a Sheffield United shirt. The game ended in a 3-0 defeat, but it could have been worse, Mervyn saving a penalty that would have made it 4.
Martin with the throw. Rolled out here. Oh, and he slipped away from Day. Fashanu has scored. The keeper seemed to have done the hard bit. It's an awkward one. And the goalkeeper's come and missed it. And there is the second goal. Ten across the face. Oh, good goal. That's a fine, fine goal. Can't really blame the keeper for that one. Fashanu. Day rescues his day.
As we look back at another remarkable season that saw us go from relegation material to almost championship contenders, let's hope that this time next year, I'm sitting here reflecting on a season that's seen us win the Premier League, FA Cup, Rumbelows Cup, Grand National, the Derby, the boat race, the Open Golf Championship. But whatever happens, I'll be there, and I'm sure you will too.
I like to feel that we have improved, and I certainly said at the start of the season we were a better team than we were the previous year, and certainly at the end I know it's the strongest team that I've had at Sheffield United.
The atmosphere was electric. It was tremendous, especially at their ground. That was fantastic, that. The support we had that night, and just the whole thing about it. The game just went well for us from start to finish, and the atmosphere was superb.
28 old from Sheffield, supported United all my life, and I put a couple of goals in, and 6 points they could have won league, but we've stuffed them.
Obviously, you've got to give the goalkeeper a lot of credit. I don't like to because he's a big head, but Simon Tracy's done marvellous.
We've gone from strength to strength, and all credit to the lads. I mean, since Christmas, we haven't looked back and felt that we could go out and beat any side on the day.
We proved that we're capable to live with anyone in the first division. We played, a lot of hard games, some important games, vital games, and, we've come through flying colours.
This season's been brilliant. I just hope that I can carry on now.
Yes, we want to be a Premier League side, and we want to try and win cup ties.
We've beaten a lot of top teams this year, and on our day we can beat anyone, and next year we'll give it another go.